It all starts with the yarn. Since 1832, when we started producing velvet 6 generations ago, our highest quality yarn has helped us produce the best velvet in the world.
Velvet's a three-dimensional pile fabric. You have a ground, a warp, and then you have a third yarn that would be the pile part of the fabric. What a pile does is it gives a sense of sight that's different than what a flat fabric was. On a flat fabric, you can look at it any direction, it basically looks the same. But if you look at a velvet, as you go around, you see the variations in light reflection, which creates a completely different visual sense than you would on a flat fabric. And the same thing is for that sense of feel. When you sit down on a sofa, it kind of moves with you a little bit, and it feels. People always love to take their hand and rub it across a velvet. They don't do that with a flat fabric because you don't get that sense of feel that you do with a velvet.
Velvet is an art. Our products are designed and produced in the United States to outperform any other product that's out there. That's our goal.
We weave the fabric, the threads, between one support and the other, building in such way a mattress that later on is going to split by a knife in the middle, and by doing so, then you end up with two mirror pieces that have protruding threads, which provide the nap or the softness of the velvet.
This third dimension is what creates a greater sense of uniqueness, complexity, luxurious appeal, and a depth of color that cannot be achieved with any other fabric.
The production of velvet is inherently more difficult than a typical flat fabric because you have different yarns. And one of the important parts of making a good velvet is buying extremely good raw materials, and only the best raw materials. It's kind of like if you were going to create a new wine and you wanted to go find grapes. A couple little bad grapes in that batch could really spoil the wine. Well, we have the same problem with wanting to have perfection in our pile yarn.
You evaluate the product at every stage.
100% of the fabric produced is inspected 3 times during the process. Once in gray inspection, obviously once in final inspection, and it's also inspected by the weavers because they're responsible for the quality of the product they produce. Every process we have in this mill is an inspection process. When the fabric is dyed, it's being evaluated. When it's dried, we have people that are looking at the fabric as it's coming out of the drying ranges as well as when it goes into the drying ranges. So even though we do a 100% inspection 3 times in our process, it's not really a totally accurate statement. We're inspecting the velvet throughout every process.
Our standards are impeccably high because they have to be. Our goal is to deliver the precision, craftsmanship, and serviceability that our customers have come to expect from a J.B. Martin product.
At first glance, when you see a velvet sofa, you go, oh my God, it's very delicate. It could mark, it could bruise. But actually, I think a velvet sofa is very serviceable. The marking, the bruising, is all part of the patina that one appreciates in a fabric. If there's a spill, it can be easily blotted away. The velvet has a stain repellent already in it, and it will allow the stain to beat up. If you can just blot that away, I think that's your first best bet.
Velvet, because of the pile, it does have a tendency to mark, but those marks will not be permanent. Most of the marks and the creases that you can get from sitting in a velvet will naturally come out. But if you want to accelerate the natural recovery of a velvet, you can just apply steam to it and brush it in the direction of the pile. The pile will want to recover to its natural state.
For nearly 2 centuries, J.B. Martin has been manufacturing velvet for every application imaginable, from the thrones of kings to the finest theaters in the world and the top fashion runways to the sofa in your home. Our velvet is manufactured with the highest possible standards and has been since 1832.